Hello and welcome to SketchUp Assist. Today we just wanted to do a quick video on sort of more practical application of the solid object tools that we provided a video before. That video was sort of high-level educational, just kind of going over the specifics of how you use them, but not really sort of practical uses. And so I wanted to do a quick practical use video. And in this example, what we're looking at is we have a solid object here. It's not a cube specifically, but just a sort of cubic type geometry. And we're talking about how would we carve out sort of a complex shape within that. And so if I push the plane through this, you will see it's about midpoint there that we've carved out this sort of relatively complex shape from the inside of that solid geometry. And we're going to talk about how the solid tools are used to do that. So let's get started. Okay, let's start with our base geometry. What I'm going to do is just come in. This is already a group. We can see that. We could also do an entity info on it. Solid group. Okay, let's close this just for the sake of space. And what I will do here is just, I'm going to pull off of this just so I keep the dimensions of this object easily. It's an easy way to keep the dimensions consistent. I'll make this an independent group. Notice it won't stick because this was already a group. I'm going to create this group, slide it over. Okay, now let's just go in and do something. It doesn't really have to make sense or be useful. We're going to come in here. Let's maybe pull in this direction, and then we'll come back and maybe come down here and pull this in. Okay, now let's come in and clean up some of this stuff here. You could do whatever you want. I mean, you could do some other things to this, but this is basically what we want to create here. So we're just going to extrude this thing. What we want to do is, this is going to be almost like a cylindrical object, so we want to put a line to follow. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go one more time. And I've got that constraint in the blue axis, and we'll just go right there. We'll just use that reference. And I'm going to swivel around here so you can see it. Oops, we want to keep that. Sorry. Let's rotate around here. So what you can see is we have, this is a profile, and this is our line here. And we want to select that. We'll go up to Tools to Follow Me. And then we're going to select that. Okay. Now, again, this is just a sort of arbitrary shape, but you can imagine if you wanted to carve this out of this geometry, like, it's not clear exactly how you would do that without using the solid tools. Now, to use the solid tools, it does have to be a solid, and right now it's not. We clearly have the top open, so let's at least try to cover that. Okay, so that looks good. Then we're going to come in here and put a little bit of extra on this, just so we have the top of this extending beyond that. Just makes it a little easier. You don't have to do it, but it makes it a little easier to manipulate that object in there. And then the key we want to look at here is this is a solid group. And so you do need a solid group for the next step to work. Okay, so we want to take this and we're going to drag it over into this geometry. I'll slide over here a little bit. I'm going to go into move mode. I'm going to hit the up arrow key there to lock in on blue so I can pull this up just a little bit. And again, these details will depend on exactly what you're trying to do. I just want to be able to easily select that object. Okay, now what you want to do next is simply come in, select it, hit the subtract button in the solid tools, and then you'll notice again solid group, and you have the number 2. Click on that, and You have now carved that shape out of the inside of this geometry, and let me put in a section plane here so we can take a look. And it's fine, we'll just call it that. We want to go into move mode, select the section plane, it will turn blue. Go into move mode and slide across, and you will see, there we go, there's that shape that we cut out of that geometry. Okay. So again, maybe you could achieve this directly. I'm not quite sure how you would, but this is really the power of the solid tools, is that you can create these negatives effectively, insert them in there, use the subtract solid tool if you don't want to keep that original object. If you do want to keep that original object, you can use the trim function, and that will preserve that object for you. But if you're just simply using that first geometry, the sort of the template geometry we created, you just want to use it to carve out, and then you don't want it anymore, then just use the subtract button, and it will get rid of it for you. And that is it. So just a quick tutorial on how to use this to create some complex geometries inside objects if you need to. Good luck.